Hello and welcome to another episode of my vlog adventures. In today's episode we're out at the stadium track at the Bend Motorsport Park for round 5 of the DSA Drift Series. You can probably hear V8 supercars in the background at the moment. They're actually running on the same weekend as we are. We actually booked this date ages ago, but yeah, their schedule wasn't quite as sure-footed, so they've ended up here on the same weekend as us, which is pretty cool. I think once the V8s are done tonight, we'll have a pretty big crowd. So I'm getting pretty excited. This layout that I'm walking at the moment is going to be the layout that we're running. Most of the track is actually second gear, but we've got a bit of a third gear entry here along the wall or tyre stacks at the moment. So should be a good time. I'm going to focus on a couple of things. Going to make sure that I'm clutch kicking on my chase on the entry, because I found that whenever I handbrake on the entry here, I end up losing distance to the car in front, so I'm going to stick to clutch kicking so I can get nice and close. I think the judges are really going to be looking for a nice aggressive entry onto door. Probably the rest of the track isn't as important on entry and on proximity, because it's all second gear outside, so everyone should be able to get on door. Should be a pretty good layout. I think it'll suit the 180. It's going to be the 180's last hurrah before it goes into semi-retirement from comps. So want to see if I can send it out with a bit of a bang. We'll see if that bang is me hitting something or actually getting a podium. So I'm pretty much ready to go at the moment. Little CA's seeming happy enough. I think L2 are on track at the moment. There's 40 L2 drivers, so there's 2 classes of them. They'll be out there for a little while. But good to see so many dudes coming out and giving it a crack. So yeah, quite a few cars to get out on track, but won't be too long and I'll be out there too. Well, that first lap didn't go amazing. The handbrake pretty much instantaneously came off, but I've got a plan.
Is it put it back on?
It is put it back on. I'm gonna make this steel into a handbrake somehow. No idea how we're gonna work it out. That's the plan. It would be a good thing if you could. So we got the handbrake fixed. It's a bit agricultural, but if it works, it works. I've been out for one more practice session and yeah, seems to work pretty well. So got a handbrake back, all pretty happy. Put some sticky semi-slicks on the front just to see what they're like, because I haven't really driven with semis on the front, so we'll see if we get a bit more grip. And also just lowered the tyre pressures in the rear a bit, down to about 40 cold. So I'll see if that gives me just a little bit more grip than I had before. And I think we're up to party sesh now. So basically we're going to do a thrash session, and the 10 best people in the thrash session go to do what they call shootout, which is just a 1 or 2 lap solo qualifying run for the top 10. So I'll see if I get in that. I'm not usually too great in the whole solo thing. I'm usually better at tandem, so I'll go have some fun, go do that. that's my thrash session done. I think it went pretty good. There was 3 laps in total that I did. It wasn't quite the way that I thought that session was going to go. I thought it was going to be more like a practice session. We went out there and just thrashed. Anyway, I got 3 decent laps in. The person I went with, Roger, he's got a really fast car, so I sort of struggled a little bit at the start of my chase run to catch up with him, and was chucking every trick I had in the book to try and keep up, but yeah, it was overall pretty good. I nearly went off, or maybe I put 2 wheels off on my last run there, but I managed to keep it on the track enough, so we'll see if we make it into the shootout. It's not really my kind of thing. The low power, low impact CA is not really the ideal equipment for making big impact in a shootout style format, but yeah, if we make it in, we'll make it in. If not, we've got Team Drift. So I did my first battle, and it was interesting. I accidentally grabbed 4th on the straight because I wasn't thinking, and then realized that I had to clutch kick 4th to enter, but actually worked out pretty good. The only problem was the clutch is actually slipping. So on my chase run with Adam Wood, I came along the straight and the clutch slipped, and I got a pretty decent gap behind him, and tried to catch it all up and got a bit excited, forgot to go back down to 2nd, and fried the clutch pretty good. So not an ideal run, but there's lots of people out there that have had shitty runs, so I guess I'll try and put that as the one that gets written off, and see if I can do another 2 decent battles and see if this clutch actually holds up. So yeah, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible, so we'll push on to battle 2. Pretty good run, 2 okay ones, and 1 dud. We get to drop the 1 dud at least, so I'm left with yeah, the 1 decent, 2 okay. So we'll see how we turn out with that. This thing's still not happy, but it's still drifting okay. I just don't want to get too greedy. So Team Drift, this should be interesting. So we're on to day 2 now. I had a good bit of fun last night in team drift. I thought we did pretty well on that last lap. I got my shit together and we had a pretty tight 4-car train. And yeah, we went out to presentations last night. Turns out we won team drift, so pretty happy with that. We got a $300 bar tab and I think I drunk more than my fair share of it. So yeah, that's all pretty awesome. I got 20 points in the bank for that. Now it's on to the last battle, the top 16 battle, before we get into the eliminations. I qualified 8th in that, so not doing too bad considering I think I had reasonably lousy runs, but obviously everyone was not doing that crash hot either, so yeah, pretty good. On to the battles now. I'm not sure who I'm against for the first battle or who I'm driving with for the first battle, but yeah, head off the driver's brief and go get those battles done. Can't do any vlogging around here. Everyone wants a cameo.
I've got to say, I'm loving the shirt.
Thanks, mate.
That's amazing.
I was supposed to wear it last night, I definitely forgot. So I was like, fuck it, I'll crank it out this morning. Uncle Rico's finest.
So I got first practice of day 2 coming up. I'm probably only going to do 2 laps because I don't really think the clutch has much more to give to me than that. Otherwise I'm afraid I'm going to hurt the clutch in practice and not have any left for the battles. So 2 laps should be enough to get my eye in, and then on to the top 16 round of the battles. Well, I figured if we can't drift while the V8s are on, we may as well come over and watch them. So we're here at the last corner and getting a little bit of viewing at this first race of Sunday, aren't we? You got tyre all over your face, by the way.
Yeah, I'm steering into it at the moment.
So time for my first battle. I'm up against Adam Wood again for the second time this weekend. Had a chat to him about the clutch situation, so he knows that I'm probably not going to be going very fast down the first straight, but yeah, it should be a good battle. I'll do what I can to keep up with him. That thing's got billows out smoke, it's got plenty of power, so should be a good time. Go out and get the top 16 battle done. So I didn't make it into the top 8. I did pretty good runs, but apparently, yeah, not quite good enough to get in. So that's the way it goes. I think a few other people did awesome runs rather than pretty good, and yeah, they managed to get past me. I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up in like 9th or 10th. Not quite in the top 8, but yeah, it's alright. So I'll just go and watch the rest of the guys for the top 4 go do their thing, and then I'll head on home. Well, that's round 5 done and dusted, and with it the conclusion of the SA Drift Series. Overall, I think I got about 7th in the points standings for the year. I think Roger managed to get me in that last round. But one better than last year. By 2027 or whatever it is, I may actually manage to take the thing out at this rate. Team Drift was probably the highlight of my weekend. Thanks to those boys for letting me jump onto the back of their team, because I didn't actually have a team. I just basically lined up and asked Jake Jones if I could jump on the back, because all of my mates had either broken their car or given up for the night. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. The bar tab was also a bit of fun. Overall, in my solo stuff, probably not quite the event that I was looking for, but with the situation with the car, I can't really be too unhappy. We managed to do reasonably well, considering the car was basically slipping its clutch from the speed gate all the way down to turn 1, and it just made it a bit difficult to get the speed, but also get the speed so I could go into turn 1 with the right amount of momentum to carry myself all the way around the outside, and then also on the chase to make sure that I could clutch kick onto people's doors and keep up with them when I was chasing them down to the first corner. So not ideal, but I think I worked through it reasonably well and did pretty well out of a situation that could have gone probably much worse, in that I could have just ended the night with that run with Adam Wood and have completely fried the clutch. So as bad as it went, it probably couldn't have gone any better. I still made more points off the solo stuff this round than I probably did off the worst round otherwise this year, because you got a drop round. So I think I still did better than the other worst run of the year or round of the year. So I made some points and had a lot of fun. So I do need to fix this thing up. And then obviously the rally car has a hole in the block, and Smokey's a long way from being done. So I really need to go fix some cars before I go and do any more drifting. And I think probably priority number 1 is going to be getting Smokey going, because we're about probably 4 months until I reckon the next, or the start of the next drift season is going to come upon us. And that car's still a long way from being done. So I'm going to go fix that thing up, get it ready to go. Probably also go chuck a clutch in this thing just in case. And if I get time, put another engine in the Beamer, but we'll see if that actually happens. So I'll see you guys on a future episode of my vlog adventures.